Alright, so apparently a lot of people still really don't know the difference between Izanagi and Izanami, so I'm going to kind of do my best to explain their similarities, differences, what they are. And I also wanted to talk about some potential plot holes involving some of these abilities. But before I do that, I just wanted to mention that the first person to find the hidden word in today's video will get a shout out in the next video. And let's jump straight into it. First of all, Izanagi translates to he who invites, and Izanami translates to she who invites. And they're originally some characters that originate from Japanese mythology, but you're probably here because of how they're used in the Narutoverse. And they're two very powerful Sharingan abilities that some people have a hard time differentiating between. So Izanagi is a very powerful ability that is unique to the Uchiha clan, and it essentially allows the user to rewrite reality in their favor if something unfavorable occurs to them at the cost of the user's eye, right? So for example, if you get stabbed behind your back, you could use it to prevent the stabbing, but you're going to end up losing the eye. Now, the ability is very, very, very overpowered and can be set to activate after the user's death to revive them with a Mangekyo Sharingan. It's a common misconception that you need to have a Mangekyo Sharingan to use it, as Obito and Danzo both didn't have any Mangekyo Sharingans active while using them, but the Mangekyo Sharingan allows you to set them to activate at a certain point in time beforehand, right? That's how Madara was able to use it to revive himself, because he set it to activate after his death. Now, notable times that it was used was, again, when Madara revived himself, Obito used it to save himself from Konan's paper bombs, and it was also spammed by Danzo, who basically used all the Sharingan that were implanted on his arm with Izanagi. Now, although this ability seems quite clear-cut, there are some discrepancies with this ability. First of all, when Obito explains this ability to Konan, he states that the user must have the power of not only the Uchiha, but also Senju Chakra as well. So, and when Itachi explains it to Sasuke, he mentions that it was becoming a problem because the Uchiha clan was using it for all the wrong reasons, and this doesn't really make any sense because we know that the Uchiha clan doesn't have any Senju Chakra, so it wouldn't make sense for them to be able to use them. Now, Danzo does mention something that might be able to shed some light on this, and this is kind of a forgotten statement. He states that there were those who couldn't control Hashirama's chakra and held an incomplete Izanagi, and this could potentially account for Obito's statement, as due to Hashirama's chakra, he was able to extend the period of time where he could rewrite reality with the Izanagi to up to 1 minute, right? And since the Uchiha don't have any Senju chakra, it's kind of safe to assume that their Izanagi would be an incomplete one that would be able to activate only for a couple of seconds. And to further emphasize this point, we know that Obito did have full control of some of Hashirama's chakra, and he was able to activate it 10 minutes after, because that's the stated time for Konan's paper bomb explosion. And it's pretty easy to see how this ability was kind of insanely overpowered, so because of that, the Izanami had to be created. Now, the Izanami is hailed as one of the Uchiha clan's ultimate dojutsu abilities, as it takes their genjutsu to the max, right? Like I said before, it was created to prevent the Izanagi because of some internal conflict amongst the Uchiha clan. Now, it essentially creates an infinite loop where the only way out is to accept the original outcome and not to use the Izanagi to get out of it. Now, while they're in this loop, their physical body remains motionless, much like other genjutsus, and it kind of grants a similar psychological torture that the Tsukuyomi creates, but it actually never ends unless you accept the intended fate. And we see this when Kabuto falls under the Izanami and he's just there. And one of the reasons that makes this genjutsu so powerful is that it doesn't even involve any eye contact, as it's activated by memorizing sensations by oneself and the victim, explained by Itachi to Sasuke in around chapter 285, I want to say, of the manga. Now, the Izanami can also be used against foes who don't have a Sharingan, as again it was used against Kabuto, but it is also at the cost of the entire eye, much like the Izanagi. That's pretty much it. I kind of just wanted to re-explain it because I feel like Itachi's explanation was a little bit more confusing than it really had to be, especially in the manga, and some people have been asking me to talk about this. So if you guys found this interesting, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Also, I encourage you to check out the original stories about the Izanagi and the Izanami, as it relates to Japanese mythology and the Susanoo and the Amaterasu. Also, if you guys want me to make a video talking about their origins, I could definitely do that. And don't forget to join the Discord if you want to chat with me, talk with me, debate with me in the community. And I'll catch you in the next one.